First Smoke family, we're here again. We're almost at 200. Man, we're getting close. And we just had the homies on. We have a great conversation. And guess what? They're throwing one of the biggest events in Cali. We just went to Network Show, and now we got another one. And wait till you hear. We get into the Triangle Kush. We get talking about a bunch of cool stuff. We got Shay, Nam, and Mikey on today from High Supply. If you haven't been on fsotd.com, man, you're missing out. We have a brand new website dropping. All of our sponsors, doesn't matter who they are, Slap Hub, Raw, Faven, you can get discount codes. You can get connected directly to them and get hooked up because you're family. You're a First Smoke family. So get on the site and get hooked up, and let's get into this episode. Roll up, it's time. Come on.
Some people think we're assholes, but we're just trying to curate a show towards a certain segment. They're gonna at least come and see a bunch of growers. How do you grow? How you do it? Let's work a partnership. Maybe you'll grow my strains, and then it'll work better. I was looking for an investor. Everyone's like, you're fucking crazy, dude.
California has the best weed on planet Earth.
Our industry is maturing. I'll leave the money on the table for all of us to chop and eat at it.
We forgot that any strong industry, it starts with human connection.
First Smoke family, we are here and we're already getting into it. We've been already dabbing up some rosin from Costa. We're already talking about the new event, High Supply. So if you know Network Show and you guys have been there, we all had a blast. If you're a bud tender, if you're any part of this industry and you haven't been to Network Show yet, you're missing something. And these are the same guys that put on Network. You've seen them on the pod before. Man, and we're back here already rolling, so let's get into it. We're here with Shay, Nam, and Mikey, man. We got the whole crew on today from High Supply, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Having fun. You guys are obviously, we already got stuff on the table. We're already chopping it up, but we started to talk about this new event and how it's going to be different and why it's different. Can you tell me like the idea you had behind it and how we got into this?
Under the same concept as Network, right? We just trying to like really focus on one segment or one transaction of within the industry. And this is like kind of pings and pong off Network. It's the everything behind the scenes for consumer product good, packaged good, right? So it'll be cultivators selling bulk flower, manufacturers with their concentrates, co-packers, vetted out packaging companies, vetted out hardware companies. These guys have a track record of doing it within the space already, but it's just basically everything behind the scenes to create a brand or a product. And then Network Show is the show that you kind of launch it at.
That was one of my favorite events of this past year. I went into it with like, okay, let's see what this is about. And then was like blown away. I can honestly say with this year's event, bro, the venue you picked obviously sets the stage. That's half the battle, right? Yeah. And the venue was absolutely ridiculous.
Thanks.
Then you go, every real brand I've ever been around is here. Like every major brand in Cali was there and they all were like having fun. It wasn't like it didn't feel seshy and it didn't feel like they were trying to put on or they were just clocking in and out. Like everyone was there hanging out for 2-3 days having fun. I don't know. That felt different.
It felt like the 215 days again.
It did.
Yeah, that's how it should feel.
I was chopping it up. We're having fun.
That's our culture. Yeah. That's who we are. That's the people. And I think that's why we have to have that show. And our industry was yearning for it, I guess is the best way to say it. And it just feels good to be around everybody that has been here a long time. That's, the 215 days were an interesting time, man. I feel like before 64, a lot of us are kind of wishing we weren't where we're at now. But, the medicinal side of things is kind of still alive too. And I feel like that show kind of bring back that old school vibe. A lot of the old school players were there. And those are the type of people that are from LA. LA is an old stomping grounds for cannabis. This is the back door. I mean, obviously NorCal, but, LA is the city. And if it flies in LA, it can go anywhere,
Bro, I walk in, I look to the right and there's dudes planting plants into their booth.
Yep.
Like live 4 foot. And I like walk over to see it. I'm like, damn, these are healthy plants. These aren't some like ratty fucking things from out in the back. Like these guys, and I'm going, that's just part of their booth. is full on, and like people have gone, oh, I've seen live plants. I'm talking like peak health moms, you know, and the way they put this into their booth and the thought, and then it felt like you were walking through chapters of a book almost, where you're going, everyone had their own setup with their own vibe and kind of like just put on. That's hard to get brands to really show out.
The individual activation, I think, is what you're saying. And like everybody has their own creativity. And I think a lot of that stands for the brands too. A lot of the brands that get creative are the ones that stand out in these aspects. And there's quite a few brands there that really did a really good job on their booths. I mean, I was really impressed with like some of the stuff. I mean, they had the Mario Kart competition. I thought was really cool. That brought back the kid in you, you know. How about the flower booth? Big Chief, shout out Big Chief. They had the car with the flowers for the ladies and the whole thing. You know, there's just a lot of cool things, you know. Luigi went really big with their activation.
Huge.
So it's cool to see these brands express themselves that way. And that's really where our industry needs to kind of be. You know, a lot of these guys have their own individual expressions for their brands. So it's kind of a way for them to express that, you know?
Why do you guys like doing panels? Because you guys have had success. A lot of times I go to events and they throw panels and then like 5 people will show up to the panel because it's kind of like hey, why don't we do this on you guys kind of make it a main draw. And like there is 75 to 150 people in the crowd at any time, in and out, you know? And so you're going, damn, this is a decent crowd to talk to at all times.
We just knew it was the right audience there, and they're all looking there. It's a day of like having fun. They're doing business. They're learning stuff from their peers, the people that have success already. So for them to sit there, spend 30 minutes to listen to a panel from someone that can educate them, that's done it, went through the trenches and got out, man, that's very valuable information. So when we just put it together, we try to curate it like your panel, right? With people that have done it. And everyone wants to learn how, because there's nowhere to look to, right? This industry is new and we're still paving the way. So there's no clear path. So anyone that has done it a little bit and we can follow them, it's great.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool things with that too, is we could use it throughout the year, you know? A lot of this stuff is repurposed. A lot of people that didn't have time at the show, like a lot of people working booths, they can go back, rewatch it now and be like, dang, that was pretty valuable. Like some of the topics about AI, you know, that's really cool. The AI topic's new. A lot of people are kind of messing around with it nowadays. So that was cool. And then the funny one is the Instagram one. We just posted it this week for Instagram. Shout out to you haters out there for keep taking the network show down. But don't worry, we got people. We good. We blessed. We got angels, baby. But the one post we made this week was about Instagram and how the censorship's gotten crazy. And like, you know, everybody's dealing with it, right? We're all in the same playing field. We all have to play by the same rules. But this post was specifically about Instagram taking down people's accounts, haters taking down accounts. And we make it a post, our account goes down the same day. Bing!
It's pretty ironic.
We have to deal with it too. Just it shows you, you know? So I don't know. I think these topics are really relevant to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And who better to talk about it than the people dealing with it firsthand? And Nom's done a good job at that. Like when he had that vision, it was like, let's get real industry professionals from our industry and let's put them on there and let's hear it from the trenches. The people that are that are in the mud, that are, you know, having the pitfalls. And maybe, you know, the people can excel past that and not have to fall in those pitfalls. So
also too, the thing was that Nam and Shay told everybody, like, don't hold back, give the real, like, and then you heard some of the people be like, I would tell them to get the fuck out of my store, or like, just you know what I mean? It was the real, what you really hear from them, not sugar coated because they were on a stage. That's the biggest thing that, like, I think we bring the real out of everybody. And we're like, be fucking real. If you're gonna hold back, I don't even want you to go on. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I ever heard somebody that Nam said to somebody, and then they just let it go. And it made that segment so much better because that is how people are. You know what I mean?
Authentically, yeah.
Authentically, if you're not going to bring me shit to my shop and you're not going to do anything, well, fuck, I don't want it. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's as real as you can get, right? Like, so, and some of the feedback for some of the salespeople or some of the reps and brands was like, oh shit, this is how the dispensaries view us. So that was huge feedback for them too, because a lot of time there's a huge disconnect on how the sales person feels and how like the shop owner actually feels.
No, I can see that. And then what was cool is it really was the network show. Like I definitely networked with a bunch of people I've been meeting or haven't met yet. Like, that's rare. I go to every event in Cali and it's hanging out with the same people I see all the time. And you guys brought all these people from NorCal, all these places in Cali, even from down south that don't normally come up to LA that much. And I thought that was cool. And then to take that, and I'm like, they want to throw an even bigger event or another event this year. I'm so interested. Honestly, like, I'm so interested in, like, what's this going to be like? Cause that was a blast. Like, everyone had a great time. I was next to Bosky. We were chopping it up the whole time. What was the idea, Shay, behind like, yo, we need to do a different event and this is going to be something that with high supply?
I think what's cool, Nom's done a really good job of with being our partner is he says we got to get the right people in the room. And what that means is like, yo, look, we can sell out a party. We can sell out a building. We can do whatever. It's not about selling it out. It's about getting the right people in the room, curating that right environment. And in that aspect for network, it was buyers and retailers and connecting those dots. Now we flip the script and we invite the brands to come to the show to High Supply and connect those brands with a new manufacturer, a new farm, a new software company, some of the ancillary products that we don't have at network show. Because let's be real, the network show, we do a really good job at curating that environment to make sure the value's there, the ROI is there. Like, that's the big word there, Garrett. ROI. And so, it takes a lot to do that. Nom's been the brainchild of spearheading that really, really hard. And I'll be honest, there's times where like, dude, like, let him in. And he's like, it just goes against our will. And I'm like, all right, I get it. It does. You're right. 100%.
And give us 20 racks, bro.
Yeah, like, take the money. He's like, no, principal. And I'm like, all right, you're right. You're fucking right. I'm not going against you. And, there's times where like, with this next show, it's the flip side. So I'm like, oh, we get to get everybody now. Like, let's get a bank sponsorship. Let's get the crazy shit. He's like, hold on. It has to be particular to our industry. We have to vet them out. We have to know that they actually are being used in our industry. We have to know that other companies are using them. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. All right. So, I think the whole idea is curating the show. And when you curate a show, Dom's taught me that you put heart, love, soul. I see Uncle Wayne. I see all these people putting a lot of heart, love, and soul into the products. And that's what's different about us. We care about what we're doing and we have a purpose. We're not doing it for no reason. And that's, I think, the difference,
Well, you could feel
and we're not going to bend either.
Yeah, you're not going to break us.
Some people think we're assholes, but we're just trying to curate a show towards a certain segment, right? And here is just the same thing. It's like, you ask what type of show is going to be, like a type of vibe. It's going to be basically the culture, like network, but a little bit of automation and banking and stuff like that kind of helps streamline the back end stuff, because we do need that, right?
We do need that.
Because the scalability we've seen with brands have been very difficult in this industry. Prime example, you're an indoor brand, you have your own cultivation, you blow the fuck up. And we've all seen this. And then you're like, well, to capture that additional business, maybe I'll outsource, right? I'll go to a third party grow and try to find some good flower and put it in my...
We just interviewed someone that's literally their MO.
It didn't work out, right?
Yeah, some it does, some it doesn't.
Majority of times it doesn't work out.
Agreed.
Right? So this way, if they need to go that route, they're going to at least come and see a bunch of growers and be like, okay, how do you grow? How do you do it? Let's work a partnership. Maybe you'll grow my strains and then it'll work better. Yeah. So we're hoping to connect those dots, streamline that supply chain, make those partnerships better, and then that will provide a better product for end consumers, everybody.
You're like the guy who puts two people together. You're like, yo, Ryan, this is my buddy Dave. Dave's the guy.
No gatekeeping.
Hey, this is my guy. No, it's literally,
No
and it's like your kind of reputation somewhat on the line. And sometimes these days you have to be like, listen, I'm out of it now. But like, you guys are still bringing that integrity. And it literally is that. And like, that's what's dope about it. And that's for people listening. Like, it's not an infomercial. It's just, we've done so much business and I know these guys so well that we get to chop it up and talk about it. Like, we've done already 2 of these. I attended the first one and went, holy fuck, I missed out. And then went to the second one and it was even bigger. Honestly, and better. And then now I'm like, okay, what's next now, bro? That you've already set the bar up this high. Something I did want to ask though, are you smoking Triangle Kush?
Oh yeah, we got some Triangle in here. You know what's up, baby?
Shay, I want to ask, what do you guys, let's break into a quick segment. What are you guys doing with the Triangle Kush? What's up with that? You guys are working on it?
We're sharing the love. Just like Nam just said a couple minutes ago, no gatekeeping, right? So we ain't gatekeeping the triangle. There's tons of love out there. I think just the right people that have been behind that show or behind the show of the triangle are submerging out of the depths right now, kind of getting a little bit more. They got some projects around the world. Puerto Rico's popping off. Lamina's popping off. They're doing a lot of this stuff down there with Bloom Seeds. They got all the genetic lines down there. They're cranking. So there's going to be a lot of cool things. I'm trying to get those boys to come up this at High Supply to get on a podcast with you to start talking about this stuff. And that'll probably segment into the triangle, who's who, why, down the whole line there. But yeah, man, we just be smoking good weed, sharing good weed, and not gatekeeping at the end of the day. Like, that's the thing, you go back to it. Shout out to our team at home, Goodfellas. We own a distro. And I look at Nam, I'm like,
talk about it though, because the people be like, well, what do these guys know? They throw events. And it's like, well, you guys have you're ingrained in multiple levels of the industry. We talk about Goodfellas. This is a distro they own, right? And a for the culture distro. And I can honestly say that because there's so many people. One of the hardest parts for me is finding a distro that actually has intent on what they're putting out, not just like 25 cents a touch point.
Yeah.
It's more than that. And like, you guys bring that, obviously.
Just like our shows, we put a lot of heart and soul into everything. We own a distro and manufacturing facility back home. Shout out to our team. We have a really solid team. Nam's partner Tanya runs the show over there. We have a really good group of people that we work with, all family. And look, we put our heart and soul into it. Like, we work for probably top 5 big brands in California right now. We do all their co-packing. If it's pre-rolls is our big bread and butter. We do a lot of pre-rolls. We work for a few brands, Safaris out there. A handful of these brands that we work with have been in the game for a long time. I could shout out Classics. I could shout out to a few of these, Top Shelf, Brian, we work together and
You make their pre-rolls.
Yeah, we make the pre-rolls. So we're behind the scenes guys. We're not the guys that are like, hey, look at us, let's get the attention. We're really more just behind the scenes, break it off, work with the boys and get down the road. But I think what you're getting to is that, all of it's a family business. We take pride in what we do, just like our shows. When you see us touch a show, you're like, damn, these guys do it different. That's kind of how we roll with our distro. Like he said, we don't just, 25 cents a touch point. Like, we care. Like, hey, maybe we can shave you some money off by doing this, or why don't we go this angle? We can do this. It'll be better for you in the long run.
It'll look better. You guys are one of the only distros I walk through that was under 80 degrees. And this is the craziest thing. I walk through all these distros that are doing co-pack and I'm like, damn, it's kind of warm in here. And I'm looking at them like, you guys package and you leave all the product in here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm looking, and they don't know weed.
Yeah.
So I'm going, oh shit, they don't even know this is bad, because I can see it in their eyes that they don't even understand my question. My intent of, it's a little warm in here, is, yo, what the fuck is going on with the heat? Why is it hot in a room that should be cold? When I came into your place, it was the dead of summer in OC, which was like, and I like to test them on that. Yeah, it should be still cool in here on the 100-degree days. And like, you can't be, only 4 months a year, it's hot. It's like, I shouldn't. So that was something I really was like, damn, dude, they're figuring out what the consumer wants and why it needs to get to them, like the grower left it.
Well, we have an SOP for everything over there. Nam's done a great job with his team and like curating the environment. And what's nice about our flower, like he said, is all temperature controlled. Everything in the back of our spot is like under temp. It stays cool. So when you buy your flower for your brand and you're going to package it, it's going to be the most crisp flower. It's never been touched. No, like a lot of distros will throw it in a duffel, throw it in a box, throw it over here. No, everything that comes in gets checked in, temper controlled, and nobody touches it unless it's bought.
So when it's bought, sits in 60 degrees.
Yeah.
See, and people don't realize that, like, we literally have lettuce.
We care for the product,
and it's slowly diminishing. And the louder the flower, the quicker it diminishes.
Yeah.
So that Skittles, the 3 weeks ago, is not what it is today. And so you start to go, if you can slow that down even by 1 week and buy that week of time to keep it. And you have to understand the culture to know that. And like, I every grower out there and every cultivator, you should walk through your distro. This just makes me want a PSA.
Yeah.
And you should go there on the hot days of the year and just go in for a meeting and see, like, what temp is my flower and all my products sitting at. Yeah. And if it even feels, if you can't wear a hoodie in there, bro, you're at the wrong spot, or you need to have a conversation about it. I swear to God, because This happens so many times that I'll go to even some cultivators where they store their flower and they'll be like, oh, the back room. And then you go in there and you're like, damn, it's a little muggy in here.
No, shout
I'll
out to
say that.
Our
I'll be
team
like,
in the back wears
bro.
jackets. Ron and Kenny, those are our boys, and they're in the back all day. They're in jackets. Literally,
All
it's
summer.
cold. Honestly, all summer they're in
should
jackets.
be. We
And
look
sometimes when I'm like, I got fire sales going on the inside and I'm getting a little sweaty, I'll go in the back just to cool down. And the boys are like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, it's cooking up there, boys. And then, that's our team. That's our family, But yeah, I think we take pride in everything we do.
Yeah.
If it's like washing the floors, cleaning the bathroom, fucking whatever it is, we got pride in what we do.
Yeah.
That's why we all get along so well. That's why it works.
I want to talk about how you guys got together and why.
You really want to know?
Yeah. The
right.
first time you guys got together, because like you guys are kind of a crew now. Every time you guys put on an event, though, it's all three of you. Anytime you've been on the pod, it's all three of you. And now this is going on years.
Yeah.
That's rare, bro. You guys know that, right?
Well-
like usually the other partners come in. Some people don't see eye to eye. Life is life.
Me and Shay kind of knew each other already before Network.
Yep.
Right. And then me and Mikey actually met through the golf tournament, the golf club I have for the cannabis industry. And
That's
he just
fire.
came.
Blunts and birdies.
But blunts
and birdies.
Blunts and
Blunts and birdies.
Dude, so you have a golf tournament for the weed industry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how
I
we
have
met.
it was started off as like a golf club for cannabis owners, right? We just go out and play once a month and network. And I wouldn't gatekeep. I was just like, oh, you're a distributor, you're a cultivator, you're a retailer. Well, you guys are on one team,
That's tough.
right?
Yeah.
So I would just force people to get to know each other. And then that led into network show and then high supply. But basically I was looking for an investor, a partner on it. And I was just striking out for like a year and a half. I was asking everybody. Everyone's like, you're fucking crazy, dude. There's no way you're going to go up against so-and-so and so-and-so and create something. I'm like, well, we see it. We are all sitting around complaining about not having something, a platform that really gives us to do business with the right people. And it took a while. Shay actually turned me down. Just to let you know.
That's life.
He just knows I was so high I didn't hear what he said the first time.
Yeah.
So it just took the second time for me to figure it out.
And then I got introduced to Mikey through the golf thing. And then I saw his Nothing But Fire event. And I was like, oh, he has a good event. He just needs a little structure. And I was like, and I also know this. When you're young, right, and you threw house parties, I know 20 people. If I invited them, it's a good house party. But if Shay knows another 20 people that aren't the same, he invited his 20. Mikey invited his 20. Now we got a legendary house party. And it was the same thing for Network. I just knew we were all friends, but we all had different friends too. So when we started to like bring this together, that's why we had so much support right off the bat. And that's why we love this industry. It's like the first show, we had 100 brands there and everyone signed up. We sold out before the show started. We weren't scrambling. And it's just because these guys' reputation in the industry is so legendary and everyone has their backs. They're going to touch something, they're going to do it.
We're in the capital right now, the capital of printing and manufacturing in LA. One of the dopest print shops. I'm talking from bags to prints to customs to layering, boxes, you name it. SlapHub has you covered, and we're gonna show you that today. Let's take a walk around.
This is our design hub where we got our main graphic designer, Annette. She does all the Adobe Illustrator files / Procreate files. She's making everything look super good before it gets to print. This is Edwin. This is our main 3D guy. So Edwin is cooking a campaign for Potent right now. They're having a vape launch next week, so he's doing a product render for them. Pedro's getting everything ready to go to print, so he's adding spot gloss. He's choosing what layer is what. He's gonna do samples. He's gonna make sure everything looks good, and then it's gonna go off to production.
And look at the design, and this is what they do. What's cool is he's picking out right now what parts of the design are gonna be raised, which ones are gonna actually have the spot gloss, which means there's a reflective shield. All those little fine details, this is literally why we come here.
We got the cutters doing some die cuts right now for LAX, so a lot of promotional stickers that go good with the dispensaries.
Not only can you get it in a roll or a sheet, you can also get it fully die cut out. FSOTD is the code that gets you hooked up. So go to slaphub.la and get hooked up like family. Use the code FSOTD. Yeah, authentic, and
then-
people feel that, and then you say what you're gonna do, and you do it.
Yeah.
And then once you do that enough times, people now rely on you, and they go, I can lean on this person, and we can do business together, and I can trust that even if I don't understand the vision, I'll show up for it, and I know he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because some people, just like he said, oh, he turned you down. Some people, you'd be like, it's a golf tournament. I'd be like, I've never golfed in my life, but then like it blows up, of course, because it's for people that love golf, and it's like I can see that where you go like, maybe sometime. Yeah. But then it's so funny you mentioned you knew him from his event. This is funny how it leapfrogs. So you put on Nothing But Fire.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Sure. I was sitting there and I wanted to throw a cannabis competition. I've wanted to do it since like Chalice days.
What a great event.
Yeah, Chalice,
Dude.
High Times, back in to something that was like that.
Core memory.
And also too, I wanted to get the best weed that you could actually buy. So we tried to do it through metrics, right? Because that's the other thing, right? All the stuff that you get at Chalice and High Times, you could never go buy that. So that's why I came up with Nothing But Fire. I threw my event, and then Nam and Shay came up to me and they're like, hey, you're fucking crazy. They're like, did you get insurance? And I was like, insurance? I got car insurance. What do you mean? Like, what kind of, what? They're like, no, we didn't insurance. And I was like, what? I didn't, it's a private party. I paid the guy $400. I'm on his insurance or whatever. He just goes, oh my God.
Oh, this is the first time I have a conversation with Mikey too, by the way.
Yeah. So then he's like, well, do you want to do a cannabis trade show? And I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. I think we can pull it off at least twice. Fuck it. I'm in. Let's do it. It's a big cannabis trade show. Cool. Then we did it. We're on year 4. 5
network show.
5 network.
And then how many of Nothing But Fire?
We did 3, and I was supposed to do one this year, and then it's
a lot. I mean, bro, you guys throw how many events a year now with multiple? I mean, because you guys also are part of Nothing But Fire now.
Yeah. We
unwillingly, yes.
Yeah. We are.
It's a lot, bro.
You'll see some stuff coming out. We'll probably be 6 or 7 events a year.
And you guys are getting good at it, man. And that's what I like about the panels, because we've been to places that put a bunch of money behind it, but don't have the culture. And then you're listening to the panel, or you're like, who are these people talking? Or what's this? Why is this the topic? Or who's the audience? Like, it just doesn't connect. And I just love that part about what you guys did, where I'm going, yeah, dude, it even translates to social media. I'm looking at the clips and I'm going, this is what people want to see. And it was just, it's done right finally. And it needs to be celebrated that it was done right, because it's so many people throw money at it. And it just, bro, we've been to the panels. I'm about to go to one in a few weeks. I won't name, but I'm sure the panels are going to be like, huh? What is this about? Branding and marketing, and who are these people? And,
I mean,
shout
out, we got a really solid team. We got people behind the scenes that do a lot of work too.
Yeah.
Our boy Cookie, shout out to Cookie. He helps us with a lot of stuff, and you don't ever see him every here and there. You know what I mean? But we got a strong team, and we plan. Like Nam's like, I'm a fly by the seat of your ass kind of guy, and Nam's taught me, like it's not always bad to plan. And like lately, like I've been like projecting things, and I see it, and like we're doing shit. Like, dude, you know how many times we talked about panels before we called you? Like, and then he's like, I'm calling Lance. I'm like, all right, lock it in. There's thought behind everything.
I like to plan 18 months out.
There's so
I'm
much
like
planning.
you.
There'll be
3 months to think.
I
of the
stress
panels.
out if not, because I like it to be like this. When it's like this is when you're like running and gunning.
Yeah.
And I just for some people that's what they need though.
Running and gunning, baby.
But that's what the team makes. That's cool though, because you get both together and you attract a different energy, a different crowd when you're together. Something I want to break into though. You guys run a distro, and you guys are so tapped into the market with what's going on right now in cannabis. Like, can we talk a little bit about the California market and just like lessons for brands, or let's say brands are trying to get in the market, because it's tough right now. And if people ask me, I'm like, yo, it's tougher now than it's ever been.
I actually see the opposite.
And this is why I wanted to ask you this, bro.
Drop it, Nom.
But this is why I want to ask you, because like in my mind, from an outsider perspective of just dibbling and dabbling on that side, I go, man, it's rough out there these days. But then I hear like guys that are like, no, let me handle it.
Yeah. I actually see the opposite, because I see it as the first time where the dust is actually settling.
Ooh.
Right. And you can actually go, okay, that's my lane right there. And that's their lane. I'm not their competition anymore. You're starting to see people find success because they're starting to find their lane, right? Decibel Gardens, Cam, Preferred Gardens,
Wizard Trees.
Wizard Trees. There's
All
a
Family
lot.
Farms.
Yeah, they're all
LA
finding,
family farms.
and
Yeah, LA
even
family
small,
farms. Turtle Park.
small brands are finding their lanes, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, well, I don't need to be in 500 stores. I just need to be in those 50 stores statewide that has that demographic that supports my brand, like not just from the end consumer, but the stores themselves, the bud tenders, the owner, the buyer. They're fan of the brand. They support that, right? And they find their lane. You know, because you can find like Poet. You were talking about them earlier, right? They actually are just growers from Trinity County. They brought those flowers straight from their farm. Phenomenal growers, but they're finding their lane. The Trailheads guys, they're finding their lane, right? And yeah, I see it as actually the opposite. Like you can find success right now. And
love that
prime example
perspective.
for indoor guys, right? The higher end guys, you're starting to see it. There's like the $15 wholesale and the $25 to $30 wholesale, right? And those $25 to $30, they're the breeders, they're the cultivators. You can only get that through them, and they command that. While there's the commercial indoor, which neither or are wrong, right? But it allows you to find your lane as the specialty guy while the other guy's the other way. And then there's the outdoor stuff where it's just some really good outdoor and some really boo-boo stuff. But everyone's finding their lane because there's a demographic for the dollar pre-roll, right? So like Safari, that brand there, we're actually a part of it. It's basically $1 something wholesale, $5, under $5 out the door with tax and
They
everything.
found their lane.
It's the Bud Light.
Yeah, it's the Bud Light.
Yeah, but that's the lane, and
gotta-
that's the lane you want for that product.
And then all you have to
there's
do-
multiple levels of
Yeah.
this.
And then all you have to do is find that
that.
consumer base and do it consistently every day for them. Give them that value.
Yeah, the value.
Right? So for you might sell towards that certain demographic that can understand a $65, $75 eighth out the door. While another set of demographic can't afford that, which is cool, but you're finding your lane. There's certain amount of stores that consume
Tough demographic.
Yeah.
I actually like the 50 to 55, 60 out the door lane because those people just want good smoke. They don't like it's weird consumer. I find that every time they go in shops, I hear this, what's new? Not what's best.
Yeah.
That's the bro. I had to literally check someone the other day and I was like, hey, you know, the last 4 times I've seen you, the only thing you've asked me is what's new. Not what was best though. Like, yo, what's smoking right now?
Yeah.
You've just been like, what's new? And not even as a figure, but like that's all. And so if I just every time was like, this is what's new, they would be like, we'll take it. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that can't be. So in my opinion, I've almost like reset my thinking. And I'm saying I need to attack the everyday smoker, the guy that wants fire, but will pay this, you know, that's, I don't know.
but
It's
you also
tough
have the
because the guys that
reputation.
come, the
You don't
hype
have to.
shit's going for 80. They just want hype shit. They want the new version of this. And I'm like, it's hard to keep up with. I'm sure every cultivator knows like every drop, something new. That's insane.
It all depends on your brand and
Yeah.
what you want to do, right? If you want to have a fresh drop, a new strain every month, and it's like that's your type of brand and you're working with these select breeders and you're dropping it, cool. If you're just like, hey, I'm the brand that says, hey, I have tried true and steady brands that have always been bred by me and they're great, and I might have a few releases here and there when I find a gem and I just do that, that's great too.
Cultivators, Under Canopy Lighting is changing the game. And with that, Faven Under Canopy Lighting. They're one of our premier sponsors, and it's a brand we truly believe in. If you want to check out favenlighting.com, you can get all the answers to what Under Canopy is and is how it's changing the game. And guess what? You're family, so we hook you up. The code is FSOTD, and you get hooked up with Faven Lighting. They put together a full layout of how you would set your facility or grow room up using their Under Canopy lighting. Whether you're using CMH, double-ended, fluorescents, LEDs, it doesn't matter. Faven Lighting has you covered. Go to favenlighting.com, use the code FSOTD, get hooked up, and change your grow game. Come on, cultivators.
There's so many lanes. It's
Yeah.
dope. That's what I love about this market
weed.
is it's interesting where Michigan's going now too. That's what you brought that up. 40% tax.
Yeah, that's outrageous, dude.
They did what we did.
Yeah,
You know, where they're like, oh, 30 plus, let's go. it's interesting because now they've had the black market gone for so long, it's going to swing back now. So it's interesting.
Oh, the black market's coming back.
I mean, people like it never left.
Never left.
Like if you're a brand in this space or you're a brand who has aspirations, what would you think? Like, what are the number 2 or 3 things, you know what I'm saying, that I need to be thinking about walking into a distro with you? Or if I'm a cultivator and I want to, because all the guys that are on this, like I would think most of their dreams is to actually have product in the marketplace, right? It does, like legal or not, whatever. But like a dream of a lot of people is like getting my product out there and getting the feedback that like, yeah, you grow fire. Yeah. So for a lot of us, that was get it into the legal space and show people what we can really do.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice from a distro side that you're like, man, we've seen this so many times. These are the commonalities between winners?
I would say separate your distribution into 2 segments, right? There's your last mile distribution that takes the finished good to the retailers and they deal with them. And then there's your other distributor that's going to be storing your raw material or sourcing your raw material for you, co-packing it, getting it tested, turning it into the finished goods, and then sending it off to your last mile. There are very few distributors in our industry or in any other industry that does both, right? Segment it. Understand like, hey, I know I'm giving up 10 to 12% to a last mile distributor, but that ease of service that a retailer demands, I order it 48 hours later, it's here, it's packed properly. I don't have to wait until you have another truckload coming down 2 weeks later. It's super helpful as a brand. So you could just focus on being a brand, right? And that's what the high supply show's for. So you can come here, make that supply chain efficient from the sourcing of the raw materials to who your co-packer may be, who to your last mile distributor, your sales team, your marketing team. We even have you guys there, right? And how to get in contact with podcast people and get the word out, media people. So yeah, that's what the show's for, right? So you can streamline that so you can focus on being a brand, the marketing and doing the sales, which is very difficult on its own already, right?
Oh, bro, it's a whole other side of things that a lot of people don't want to do or aren't used to doing. So it's like pulling that Band-Aid off, like, oh man, here we go. You know, I have to talk so many people into like getting on camera. I think we've helped a lot with a lot of people being like, come on.
Yeah.
But like, let's talk about, so we're going to actually activate a podcast at High Supply.
Correct.
That's going to be dope for people wanting to actually get on a pod and showcase what you've been working on all year, or what, you know, what this next year coming up's about too. Cause like people always say, oh, it's the end cap for the year. Well, it's kind of the kickoff for the next year. Like we always want to know like what's coming up on 2026.
Yeah. And it'll be a great show for them because like as they develop to launch their brand or drop a new product, right? They can go onto a podcast and understand how, or get it out, right? And, hey, I can schedule something from, we're about to launch in 3 months, 2 months from now, let's shoot, right? Get it out there, get the word out there, because it's not just about creating the product, it's distributing it, getting the word out, getting consumer awareness, and that's a lot of work. And most cultivators, most manufacturers, most distros, everybody is good in their lane and their specialty there, but there's so much more that we just need a partnership with and good people. That's why we vet out all the packaging people and all the hardware people, because like today I had to vet someone out is, hey, have you done hardware for any other brand in the space yet? And I'm not talking about just hemp. I want to know, have you done it in the legal space?
Yeah.
If you have, who is it? And okay, you have a good track record, because I don't want another brand, a person that's trying to start a brand or another brand that's from, say, New York trying to launch into California to come to the show and try to work with the manufacturer and they're not to par, right? We want to bring the best to the table, to the show. So it's vetted out hardware, vetted out packaging.
That's rare. Vetted, period.
Yeah. And I think that's what's different about us too, is us vetting this and curating it is what's the difference in us than a lot of other people. And like you asked, like, hey, what would you tell a California brand right now to do? And honestly, be consistent and, you know, have integrity in your product. Go to the distributor that's making your product, sit down with them, see their SOPs, see how they package the flower, see how, like, cause you know, there's a lot of like steps that you can mess up. Like, let's say you you open your bag, you paid top dollar for it, and there was a bunch of smalls in there. Maybe you didn't tell that manufacturer distributor that you had an SOP that you wanted 3 solid big buds that made 3.5. Anything else gets sorted, pushed to the side, and we'll call them smalls. So those are the little details and like a lot of things that a California brands can do different. Have integrity in your product. Go show up to the place, sit there with the people, spend time, know who you're working with, know who's packaging your weed, know who's growing your weed, know who's, eighthing it out. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can be involved in your business, even though you may not be the one packaging it yourself direct. You can spend a lot of time with me, Nam, anybody at the distro. You can pester me to ask me tons of questions about certain things, and that's okay. Be involved in your business. And I think a lot more people that are involved in their business like that become more successful.
Yeah.
And they're more invested in the product. And I think that's what you can do. Like Nam said, the dust is settled in California, man. I don't see much bottom. I don't see how much lower we can get on weed. I don't see how much cheaper we can get here. Like we're there. Like have a good product and run with it. And I think that's my best thing to tell brands is like have integrity in your product, know what's in your bag, know what you're doing with your product, and that should help you.
And do it consistently.
Yeah.
Day in, day out. That's what consumer bases want. That's what the retailers want. And that's what we're trying to put the show together, is because then you can just, produce or find the quality partners, right, in the supply chain that matches what you need for your brand and the growth, and have those real talks beyond just, hey, your DCC number, what's the price of your flower? Is it cheap enough to package into to make my margins, this and that? Hey, I want to be at this price point. I want your flower in there. How do we work it out? So it's partnership. Can you even produce enough to supply the brand's growth and demand? And what does that look like, right? Mm-hmm. And just start working out all those details.
Something my stepdad, who's like a business mentor of mine, he brought up that crossover with what you just said was, he always tells me if you're ever really serious about doing business with someone, no matter where in the world they live, you need to get in front of them.
Yeah.
And he used to say, I don't care if it's in China, I don't care where it is. If you're doing business in a serious level, and if you're actually wanting to do business, you need to go face to face with somebody if it's going to get to that point. And he's like, it saves so much when they think about fucking you or a lot of other things. They think of your face. He's like, I promise you, it does wonders for business relationships. He's like, all the way down to even snakes. You can feel them out. He's like, it's next level when you can just, if you're ever serious about business, get in front of somebody.
Yeah, it's the best way.
You're right. Energy doesn't lie. And then also, it's so hard to communicate all the nuance through text and through emails. When you can get in front of somebody, so many of us get on a phone call real quick and be like, hold on, bro. Hey. And in 5 minutes, we'll have 2 days worth of text back and forth and emails. I think that is just priceless in this industry, bro. Really.
Oh, the human connection is still so important. I've told other people this before. It's like our industry is so still new.
It is.
And then 2018, Prop 64 started. It was like a fucking gun started, and we were all sprinting as fast as run. And then we didn't really it was just, we were all in number. There was we forgot that any strong industry, it starts with human connection. Yeah. It starts to a face-to-face, breaking bread. What happened to that? That's what we had in the good old days. Yeah. It was like no one ever did business with each other until it was like, we broke some bread, right? In the streets. And then all of a sudden Prop 64 came, and then we were DCC numbers, and we kind of lost that. People were just selling to stores that don't even know you.
Well, it's what you mentioned too with about brands are starting to realize, man, I can have 50 stores to maybe 100 and have great relationships with 75 to 100, whatever it is, and build versus the goal originally was like getting every store in California because now you have an opportunity, and then you realize, no, it's all about relationships. Mm-hmm. It's not about how many storefronts you're in. It's actually about how many storefronts are putting on for you and that you have a reciprocal relationship with. And I think that really shifted over the last, let's say 8 years, where in the beginning it was like, you would hear everyone, we're in 300 stores, we're in 240 stores. Yeah. And then now it's like, I'd be happier hearing we're in 150 stores that pay. And you'd be like, oh, wow, that's a big number. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Versus 300, because we had a couple people on the pod. We did a really cool PSA, if you haven't watched it yet, with Maven Genetics Shane.
Oh, Shane.
Where he came on. Shane's like the homie.
Yeah.
And that's
He's
why I
an
bring
OG.
this up. I knew this is one of your guys. And we
Likewise.
did a PSA, and it maybe's got like 30,000 views, but it's worth watching. Everyone in the industry. And you go on and he sits down. We bring in the big flat screen behind him, and we pull up dispensary after dispensary after dispensary. And there's this website where you can show how much they owe, what their pay rate is, what their like rating, all this stuff. And it's like, oh my God, all these big dispensaries, all this, you just get a lot of background data.
Bigger isn't always better.
Exactly. And we've learned that, man, we've learned that. And I speak so true to what you're saying with like 50 to 100 great relationships in California, your brand can be highly successful.
Yeah, you can be very successful. Not knocking the guys that want to get into every store.
300 stores.
There's those guys too, and there's
But then
these
there's
small guys that are only
$1 million on
10
the street.
stores for the for the year,
Yeah.
and that's good enough for them too. That's why I was saying, man, everyone's finding their lane now. It's awesome.
It is interesting. It is very interesting to see.
Well, let's just say if you can make it in this day and age, you can get through anything, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, when you're a dinosaur, you just get brought back to life, huh?
Yeah. They're like, why won't these guys quit yet?
How can we kill them?
Would you guys got any thought on this hemp thing that's going on right now? I don't really know enough about it, but I'm like, wow, it's so interesting that people are saying big tobaccos or big alcohols behind it.
Aren't they behind everything?
And then I go, is this the boogeyman?
No, this was Big Pharma.
Or is this real, you know? And it sounds like it's real, but it's just interesting. The markets, we're in such an interesting market and it's changing so rapidly that it's so cool to where you guys are putting on these events, which we miss in California. You know, there's nothing better than being next to Straight Organics, Alien Labs, Tree Based Clear. I mean, we had all the homies next, Critical Concentrates. We were all this one little building, Chalice. And it's like, those are our fondest memories. We're literally this lightning in a bottle moment of like Prop 215 days of feeling like you're a small farm and you're producing farm products for people to consume. And it is cool because you guys bring us back nostalgia in the events. It really does feel like that, you know?
Yeah, we try to not lose the legacy and the culture of how we're brought up basically as an industry and how we've developed. But we have to add a little bit of structure and a little bit of professionalism
You
to
have
it.
to.
And initial on, a lot of people complain this like for network, right? No easy ups,
Yeah.
right?
Mr. Lance.
Yeah. I'm not good with that.
Well,
Actually, I know one guy actually, but I don't know how that got passed. But
I kept telling
they
him to take it
overruled
down,
me.
too.
That's for sure.
I was like, wait, what?
I would have said hard no on that that 10 by 10.
I'm like, oh man.
But we saw everyone. We want them to build out their booth, and now look, everyone's building it out.
Oh, people are going all out now.
Man, they're going all in.
Yeah.
Well, Nom, if you remember, you had said that before. When we first started this, he had said that we're going to shape the cannabis industry because if we teach them how to be better and elevate the whole industry, we'll all get better.
All as one.
And I looked at
Eat
him
your
like,
vegetables.
this little Vietnamese guy's crazy. He wants to
We'll
do
all rise
what?
together.
All right, fuck it. Let's go. Let's try it. Like,
People
all
are
right.
incorporating full plants into their booths, and I'm not on some like I've seen people do dumb like where they're like flopping over and the nugs are like I'm talking like just beautiful setup with wood grain, and then the plants are planted into the planters, and I was like, wow. Man, we need to. Every time I go to events like that, I just realize same thing with Berlin, Germany. When we went there, I was like,
epic.
I need to step my game up. This is fucking impressive, like what people are doing here.
Yeah.
As a brand, you need to see that though. For guys that don't go to events though, you almost need to go to be like, let's experience this.
Yeah, because you could start seeing the difference. Because if we're all the same easy ups, it'll be hard to distinguish and tell your story and distinguish yourself from the other guy, your competition.
You're right.
And dude, you're starting to watch the first show. We probably had 20% of the people build out booths. Most of them just went with the pipe and drape that we offered, and it's slowly become more. And I would say this last show is probably like a 60-40, like 60% of people were building out their booth, and some elaborate ones. Luigi was holy fuck. Bezos
did
too.
like that.
That booth
elaborate.
was solid.
Mike from Dime did.
Yeah,
always
Dime
good.
had a really solid one with the Mario Kart.
Pretty dope. Had a nice one. There's just a lot of cool different accents.
I was right next to Jungle Boys. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Like, I mean, guys,
Kier's always
and
doing
what was
it.
cool is like they were there.
Yeah.
Dutchies.
Like I
right
love
people were
when the
there.
guys actually care enough about the event to show up and be a part of it and hang out, because I'm like, oh, now it's a reunion. Now we get to kick it like old days. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I
Well,
love
the
that.
OGs came out.
Yeah.
All the owners, all the OGs. You don't see them at other shows, and they all showed up for Network. We're super blessed. And
my
that's why
favorite
we
part.
created High Supply. It's even more curated, right? This show is dedicated to just the owners and the decision makers, right? The product development manager, procurement managers. And for the OGs, this is High Supplies for that. So this is
What
not
would you
for
say is
like
the number one
bud tenders
goal?
and stuff.
What's the number one goal for a brand that's going to be there? Like, or someone that's coming to High Supply? Like, what's my goal?
Say they're a brand out of Michigan.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing pretty good there. But because of state lines, they have to go to California. They want to plant their brand in California, plant their flag,
40%
right?
tax.
And they'll come there. They'll be able to, yeah.
Or the 40% tax.
Oh my God, brutal. I feel bad for you guys out in Michigan. I really do.
Sorry.
It does. It's, God, I hope they repeal that. Keep
40%
going.
is tough.
What are they thinking?
Bro,
But see,
it's like,
California
I
is
told
tough
them,
too.
I mean, you got to have someone then, I guess, to go, okay, 40% on this side. The other side is we need medical back, and you need to make it easy for people to get a $100 license or a $50 license, and they pay 10% tax, because you got to have an option. You can't just say 40% for every, okay, if you want to tax all the out-of-stater guys and you want to tax the people that are, okay, you get your 40%, we'll give you that. But then on the flip side, they should have asked for, we need medical back activated, and we don't need, it doesn't need to be this dumb thing where like this room is grown medically and that room is grown recreationally. They try to do this thing where it's like, it makes it very difficult. It's like, no, it's all grown in the same facility. It's just now people can buy it with a discounted price because they're medical patients. Like, why don't just, it's so easy to figure out, and yet they really muck it up. They like really get their hands involved and try to figure out.
That part's not the hard part. The hard part is how to take that part and put the money in their pocket. Let's just be real, all right?
It is. And so keep going with High Supply. Sorry, you got me going, because it is so weird that they raised it to 40% and then you get nothing out of it. It's just now you get taxed.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, California is no different. It's pretty tough. But that's why you see so many MSOs, right? People that'll leave brands that will go focus in Arizona or focus in New York or Jersey, right? Because the taxes are better. It's a new market. But then, it's the same thing here, right? For California. California is the capital, weed capital of the world, right? And every brand wants to plant their brand's flag here in California. So that's the point of High Supply. So say a brand in Michigan wants to come to California. They can come out, talk to a distributor about a licensing deal, go find a cultivator that hits on par with what they're looking for. It can produce it consistently in and out. Go find a co-packer. Go talk to a lab about testing. Go find some compliance packaging. Go find a last mile distributor.
Oh, that's dope.
Everything they need to do, even down to finding a sales team, a marketing team, right? To finding podcast media people to partner with, right? How do you get in contact with High Magazine or Leaf Magazine or even the podcast and other media
Or how
like
do you
yourself?
meet for smoke of the day?
Yeah, right?
Maybe you reach out on Insta, but you can come see them at the show.
Yeah, people always ask me. I'm like, go pop up on me.
And then for like existing California brands, say if they are a flower brand, but they want to launch into edibles, right? And they're cultivating themselves. Well, I could take now my trim to go find a manufacturer to toll for me, right? Then I could take that concentrate and go take it to say James over at My Green Network and have them turn it into an edible, right? And then send it over to a Cannabis, a Bud Tech, or some last mile distributor like that to take it to the retail. It's all about making that supply chain and getting your product out to stores more efficient so you could focus on the true hard work, being a brand,
Yeah.
the marketing, the sales support that you have to provide to all these retailers. And oh man, it's so much so we could streamline the other stuff. It'll make it better for the brands. It'll make it better for everybody in the industry.
First Smoke family, no matter the guest, we're rocking raw and Elements papers. Whether it's the Elements king size wide, the raw fatties without the crease, so you still get the king size wide, but with unbleached and uncreased. Something we've been loving on the show is the raw king size blacks. And when we're lighting up, the Phoenix. This is awesome. Flintless residue, windscreen with a poker. No matter what products you like from Raw, you can check out genuineraw.com, and that gets you to all their affiliate links to purchase these products direct from them to make sure they're raw authentic. Genuineraw.com, first smoke of the day sent you.
People always ask me, and I always tell people, like, you know, I'm right now Mike Sherman, who was on the podcast, right, who owns Chinatown Marketplace or Marketplace.
Yeah.
I'm giving advice to someone in his life. He's like, hey, bro, could you give advice to someone that wants to get in the industry and this and that? But it's interesting that you said that, because people ask me, must do events or must be places. And I always name like 5 or 6 things a year that I go, if you really want to be involved in this industry, these are like the 5 or 6 things you have to be at. One of them for me was always Cannabis. Now it's Mary Jane Berlin, in my opinion. Like the international, if you want to be a real big, if you want to be in this industry, it's something you should definitely be at. And then I would say network show for me hit the map last year, where I go, yeah, bro, no matter what, because like we saw guys from Michigan, like you said, we're talking to all these guys, and I'm going, damn, bro, this is exactly where you'd want to be. There's these must-do events every year, and it's like, I always say it, I've told people on a list in DM multiple times if they've asked me, see, these are the 6 or 8 events you have to do. MJ BizCon was always one for me, and I say that because as a brand, you need to go understand the corporate world side of this, see what they're doing, see what all these crazy machines, that you need to see that side, and you need to know that it's there to know what not to do, and then also to cherry pick maybe what to do. And see, because like half the battle is also knowing what you don't like. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like you see something, you're going, okay, that is not for me. I get it, but it's my mom used to always tell me that, honey, half the battle is knowing what you don't like. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So going through and just seeing also like, okay, being exposed, these are the certain events you have to be at. It sounds like High Supply is going to be another one of those, based on, I could literally round up my whole network.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Start your brand all the way to a consumer
really
product.
Dope. What's going to be your favorite part, you think, bro? Is there one aspect that you're like going to be focused on, or that you're like, I'm interested in see how this works?
We spent a lot of time on the manufacturing side for like our own work at home. So like being able to like kind of curate some stuff for people to see there. Like, you know, I'll just call them the other shows. You go to the other shows, sometimes there's like a lot of like redundancy of the same thing. And you're like, how do I know who to pick? How do I know which one is the right one? I mean, these are all from China, or these are all from here. But I think what's nice about our show is, you know, that the people that are going to be there are people that we already vetted, somebody that we know that's working in the marketplace, that has product out there. It's not going to be, it's not going to be somebody overnight. And I think that's what's different about, you know, our show, is that we're really truly connecting the dots there. And a lot of these other shows just like kind of sell out the show to see how many booths they could sell, and let's get as many manufacturers from China as we can there. No, the whole goal is let's get as many of the right manufacturers there that are the right guys, that do the right pre-roll machines, that is the right grinder, or, you know, so-and-so. And I think, you know, with us having integrity in our day-to-day work, we already know a handful of lists of these companies. We're already dealing with them. We're already working with them. We're already bumping with friends of friends like, hey, are you using this? Oh, yeah, I'm using this. Yeah, so are we. It's been working great, right? Yeah, that's the juice. That's where the money's at. That's where, like, you know, as a brand coming, you know, into the space, like, that's where you take advantage of it.
You know what I'm excited about? Connecting the growers that usually don't want the spotlight. They don't want to be the brand, but they're phenomenal cultivators, right? The reason I say this, because as our distro, we distribute for hundreds of farmers, mostly small farmers through the triangles, and there's a lot of phenomenal ones, right? But they don't want to be the brand, right? And they're going to be at High Supply, and the brands to be able to directly connect with them, understand why they're different and special, and then put that through their brand. And it might not be for every brand, but they're going to be those brands that need that product or want it, right, for their brand. And to connect those dots are going to be great, because I see a lot of good cultivators out there, not just from the triangle, but from all over, indoor guys that are they just want to be behind the scenes, right? We all know who they are. And they don't want to be a brand, but they want to sell it to a brand. and the brand can show them some love, and that'll be great.
I can tell you draw a lot of like pleasure, or like your charge up is off of that side. I can tell, like when you ride around on the bike, I saw you at Network and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he does.
Depot hydrant chain,
Yeah.
dog. No,
I was like, he enjoys, though. You were like gassed up about like seeing everyone meeting and shit. And I was like, that's cool, man. It is really cool to see that, because you
Yeah.
understand too how much business is getting done behind the scenes now after that.
Oh,
Let's just talk about weed in general. It's gatekeeping to the max.
It
like
is.
weed is always. How many points you got on that, Lance? You got 2 points on it. Damn, motherfucker, you greedy, dude. That's why we killed the deal.
Everyone,
Like 2 points is too much,
Everyone
dog, in
wants
this
it for
day and
free.
age. No, but I guess like I think Noms taught me to see the value in like the people more or less than just the monetary 50 cent or dollar. And I think that curation of connecting the dots transcends into, hey, they bought a booth from us. Oh, hey, now they're a sponsor. Oh, hey, now they buy every golf tournament. Oh, hey, now I don't even got to ask them. They've already got it. They're already locked in. So I think, we look at making our, livelihoods from different perspectives and saying, hey, you owe me 50 cents on connecting that dot. How many units did you guys run? Well, that's traditional business. I'm not hating on it. By all means, like, go do that.
You're right.
But I think,
in the legal world, that's not.
yeah,
doesn't
legal
happen.
world's different. I think in the legal world, there's no gatekeeping. And I think that's where it's like, it was tough to pull me from the shadows to the legal world, because I was traditionally like, I need to make my 50 cents or a buck. What's
it goes
the point
against
of doing
your
it?
like,
Yeah, it goes against
you
what
were
you were
taught.
taught,
Yes.
So I think that's the evolution of our industry. And
You're right.
that's how our industry is maturing. And, people like us are like, look, I'll leave the money on the table for all of us to chop and eat at it. And let's all eat together. And maybe we don't have to be like gluttonous and I eat everything. Like I could share with everybody on this table. And I think that's kind of what separates us from being different, I think,
Yeah, it
and
does.
that's a whole different approach, especially in this industry where there's a point on everything. And, that's kind of different. And, you look at our distro, we're cannibalizing our distro by these are Nom's contacts for our distro that are going to be at the show. Like these are people that but he's got a different vision that's bigger and more stronger and powerful than just, hey, we're going to lose them on 50 cents a unit for however many units.
Yeah, sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror and go, are you part of the problem? Or are you part of the solution? And then there's just not enough meat on the bone. And I was just like, to be honest, we're part of the problem. And I always knew this show was happening and just pushed it forward more. But it's connecting the cultivators directly with the brand, and it'll cut out us as a distributor, but we're willing to make that sacrifice. It's good for the industry. It's good for everybody. And
that's like the ultimate level, right? You get to a level where you go selflessness, even though life does run on capital and we do want to gatekeep and we do have all these things, and you go, oh, there's a reason behind it. There's a part of selflessness that you rise to where you go, no, I'm going to do this in business now. In my opinion, that's when you get the ultimate success. That's when like Tony Robbins starts to talk about that where you give and then in return, that is how you
Impact
get,
creates profits.
and it becomes way bigger than that one point ever could be. That's interesting you say that, man. It's actually a really good point, and I've heard the highest level of business guys talk about that specifically, that level.
yeah, because if you want to be successful in business, that means that industry your business is in has to be healthy, it has to be strong. And our industry right now, for the last few years, have been struggling. So for us to do the certain things that we are doing and making the sacrifices we do to make sure the industry is healthy, that would lead us to have a good business in our, because there's a playground that actually can grow success.
People are loving
If not,
it.
we're all going to go just, what are we going to do? Create brands, do this, do that in a dying industry and just die? I don't want to see my homies die.
Nah.
I want to see us all succeed. I want us to have a really good industry. There's great marketing. There's great, the brands are making so much money. They're putting so much into the creative marketing, and we become like the Budweisers with marketing. Because, dude, come on. And not saying Budweiser's, the beer is good, but come on, their marketing campaign, the Dilly Dillies, all their commercials during Super Bowl are phenomenal. Can you imagine when the first weed company has a commercial during the Super Bowl and it's awesome? That'll be fucking the day.
It would be cool, and it'll be cool if it's a brand too everyone's rooting for. I'm hoping.
And we have to grow. In order for a brand that could
You're like, they're still alive.
yeah, like we're
Oh, they put the dude out in the barn.
Damn it.
but the brand has to grow to a certain size to be able to afford the $25 $5 million for 30 seconds, you know? And if our industry grows and a brand that grows to that size and can do it, then we all win.
How funny if it'll be like, you guys been drinking?
Yeah.
We're over here having a blast. With no hangover. If it's like something like that, that would be cool if they
That'd
let
be
it to
rad.
be.
Oh, yeah.
I would hope it'd be some interesting stuff where you a little bit of like a to the alcohol industry. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? On some like, hey, a little get back. But like, by the way, we're over here now. You know, that would be, man, it would be cool. I love that. The opportunities, man. We've been seeing a lot more lounges pop up. I've been hearing about, man. I could see
Sunset
you
Social,
guys.
right?
Yeah.
Sunset
Yep.
Social.
Sunset Social.
I went and
Private
took a
member
tour.
store. It's dope.
Yeah, I went and took a tour of it. They were asking if we wanted to film some podcasts there. It would be nice. It's just so nice to
Yeah,
sit here
this is
and we can
beautiful.
zone in for 2, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
The sound is dialed. So the people listening now go like, they get the experience. Cause I get the complaints like, what the who's clicking a lighter in the background?
Yeah,
I get all that shit. And I'm like, damn. Or the AC's even off. You know, people don't realize like we have to kick the damn AC off because people, you know, it's like you hear that humming the whole time. It is nice to do live events and live stuff, and I've told them that is cool. But it also has to be like a closed set almost for you to really get the experience. Like we're sitting here zoned in, and we can have a 2-3 hour convo like we're at my house. You know what I'm saying? And just
It's kind of cool about the social though too. It's pretty empty. It's pretty like
it's dope. It's a cool
comfortable.
setting.
It's a comfortable there.
It is.
That's what like I spend a lot of time there. So that's
We're not
why-
against anything. We're always open.
It's just
I just think there should be 150 lounges in California.
Yeah, there should be way more.
200.
Yeah.
We literally should have them all over. It should be like bars.
Just
It
like a
should-
bar.
Hey man, oh dude, there's this other one that does like hookah style. Yo, we should go to this other one and they do fruit. They do have a whole breakfast menu and they do like Sunday brunch. Oh dope. There's this other sports bar. Have you been to the sport? Like there should be every
They have
Dave and
different
Buster's. I just go, man, that I hope we're here long enough because you guys throw events and you know this industry and love it. Like I hope we are here long enough to see that come to fruition as well because we are seeing events reemerge. We thought 215 died. That's the end of events, bro. We're going to have these weird Emerald Cup things where if you want like an eighth, you have to check out here and then you go, and then they just like canceled that. And you just don't know, like, is this where is it going?
Well, I think, you know, some behind the scenes stuff. LA is working on new regs, Long Beaches. There's a few cities that are trying to ease up on the event stuff, but it just took them some time to study the data. They don't want to start off on the wrong foot, right? And
Cautious.
really cautious, which they should be because when it comes to events, like me and Wayne comes from producing events for a long time.
Shout out Wayne.
Yeah, shout out to
out
Uncle
to Wayne.
Wayne. You know, there's a lot of liabilities and you got to tread lightly initial on and collect that data and understand who can do it and who can't do it. Because I'll tell you this, if they just let events run wild early on without,
We've seen the sessions where you're like, damn, this is dangerous.
there's some good
there's a
producers.
couple
Yeah.
that you're just like, whoa, this is out of control.
I've definitely
even for
been to
me.
some where I'm like, let me get a little bit of that
There's
and I'm
some
out of
that are
here.
phenomenal.
I'll buy that eighth of Gorilla Glue.
That looks
and,
great. Gotta
some
go.
DHO. Yeah, and then I'll see you guys later. Whoa, someone's getting shot here. For sure.
Yeah.
Like someone's getting robbed leaving here. They're getting followed back to their
Something's
spot.
gonna
Like,
happen.
We've heard all these stories.
There's bad producers and there's good ones.
Yeah.
But they're going to be able to apply some rules and you'll probably see it free up right before the Olympics. Because I know when the Olympics come, all eyes are going to be on California cannabis, right?
Interesting.
LA.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to make sure that it's done proper.
You know,
And
no
the-
one's brought this up yet.
And the whole world gets to see it proper.
That's an interesting point, bro. No one's brought that up yet. And that in Los Angeles with the Olympics coming, will there be an effect on cannabis or even the spotlight or what? Like,
Oh,
what?
it's going to be spotlighted.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, of course, right?
That's the goal.
We need the Hollyweed guys to come back and redo the sign that week. You know what I'm saying? Where they did the Hollyweed. They're
Yeah.
like, yo, we need you big dogs.
The double
Like,
O's
That's
will
a
be
good
the
idea. I
Olympic
want
signs.
to make sure we.
I'm sorry.
You're good, you're good.
We're playing footsie. We're playing footsie on set.
Don't tell anybody. It's under the table.
Hey, what's up? We do need that though. You're right, man. Wow, that's an interesting. Oof.
Yeah, that'll be
interesting
good.
point.
I think if that happens, it'll be a really good spotlight on key brands that are doing it too.
Think if you're a brand and you're going, damn, we got the Olympics coming up. Start to think about good guerrilla marketing ideas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, wow, what a platform! Holy hell!
Oh, our dedicated events for
That week or
coinciding
month.
with the Olympics for,
athletes and cannabis.
Dab
and-
Olympics?
Damn, dude, very cool idea, bro. And that's Man, I mean, if you're listening, that might have opened a door for you mentally on like a goal. I mean, honestly, very interesting point there of like, when's the next time you have access like that, or you have a guerrilla marketing technique to just that many people? You have this many people from around the world, all eyes on Los Angeles. And, this is our hometown.
The big thing is
the
California,
lounges,
bro. California has the best weed in the world. That's what I found out when we were in Berlin, bro.
You got people are going to be all upset you said that.
What do you mean? That was real.
Just
In
kidding.
California, come on, bro. We've been all over. California has the best weed on planet Earth. And like, it is what it is. Like, I was in Berlin and they're like, they could hear my accent and I'd be like, 150 euro. They're like, here you go. The same guy, German guy that I just gave the weed to, he'd hear it and be like, nah. I'm like, it's the same weed, but he didn't have my voice. Like, you know what I mean? And plus,
it's a stamp.
Yeah, bro.
Cali is for sure a stamp.
When
And
you open it and it smells, because there was good German weed out there. There's some weed that I saw all the big homies.
There's always good
you,
home growers.
Like that had that fucking little biscotti thing on top. And I was like, fuck, this is lit. Who is this guy? Right. And you're just like, okay, if all the big homies got it, well, I got one too, right? And it
was
all
fire.
right. Dude, it was fire as fuck.
Yeah.
That was some German weed.
But that was 1 out of 50.
Exactly.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I had a box of jars and I maybe smoked I smoked as many as I could, but it was pretty easy to go through the good ones. There was a lot of stuff where I was like, okay, this is, you need 10 years behind this. Like I know where they are in the stage of growth of their, you know what I'm saying, grower life. And like, you got about 10 years before you're like, oh, damn. Oh, wow. I gave him some boof. I'm not that. People
like
ask me all the time, though. I won't tell you the truth. I just hope you know that. If you ask me, I won't. My guys will all tell. I will not tell you that it's boof. I'm not that guy. And like, if I'm smoking on camera, I won't tell you. I'm not going to judge it and tell you it's good. But like, people hand me jars and they're like, dude, thank you. My life is dedicated to growing, and I love the show. And then I'm just going to be like, thank you, big dog. And like, I will take the jar and like, I'm happy. Like, but people, because like my cameraman's asked me before, bro, it's funny. My cameraman's asked me before, like, bro, people give like, not all of that can be that good. And I'm like, nah, like, like most, it's like 80% is not. Well, and he's like, well, dude, you're like happy with that. I'm like, yeah. Cause like, I don't want to be the guy too, who's like, has a dartboard on the back of the wall. And they're like, fuck this guy. I'm going to show him one day that I can grow fucking good weed. Like that's you on your journey.
I'm that guy for
I
sure.
would have hated if someone like did that to me early on. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Hey, bro, 'cause
I would have hated that guy even after I was a good grower. I'd have been like, still fuck that dude.
No,
But,
bro,
like,
because if everyone fucking jerks you off and tells you you're great and you suck, you'll never get better.
I'll never tell you. I'm just not gonna tell you you're bad. I'm not gonna tell you you're great. If I just go, oh, yo, thank you, man. Hell yeah, thank you. It was that bad, or like it's not. I just don't have due diligence to be like,
Oh my god, this was so good, bro. This is
damn,
like,
bro.
Oh my god.
How long you been growing, bro?
Dude, seriously.
I mean, I just
You
like.
have to find a nice way to say it. You just got to find a kind of a nice way.
I'm
to
at
say it.
80-20. I think like 80% of people love me, 20% of people hate me. I used to be 50-50. I think I got better. Like, you want the honest truth?
No,
I'll
you
tell
do. You have to be authentic.
You want
but-
some fucking, no, baby.
I don't-
The
I can't lie
dress
to you,
doesn't
though.
make you look fat. Your fat makes you look fat. Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not,
You're not fat, baby.
Well, and you
not
got to
fat,
be
you look great.
authentic. You got to be
But,
authentic.
you know what I mean?
He
Right,
just
just gotta
doesn't
say
say
it nice,
sorry.
though.
That's what he's trying to tell
Yes.
you. He can't say that he doesn't say sorry.
I mean,
Yeah, we can't control what comes out of his mouth.
No, he's the wild
just-
one.
yeah.
But he's also the reason that, the event still has that like a crazy feel, It's like you guys together put on a really cool experience. It always works out. Every time I've been there, it's worked out to be something fun that I've always been happy about I attended. You know what I'm saying? And that's like
That's dope.
I cannot say that about everything, because it's a lot to be like, hey man, you should pop up and you should go do this and you should do that. And this is cool because we get to cover this. And then like, when is the event, bro? We never even brought that
April
up.
29th and 30th.
April 29th and 30th. Right
Let's
here.
go.
Same spot as a network show.
Yep.
Same venue.
does that mean
Dude,
you
right
get
on the
speedboats?
Right on the water.
bro. What a cool
And this
spot.
show's for all the bosses. So come out, connect,
Does that mean we
create
can
those
for
real
sure get
partnerships.
speedboats?
Huh?
Can we get speedboats again?
Yeah, we'll probably get speedboats again.
Are you serious? You had them?
That was the tightest.
Electric.
I didn't
Oh,
even
you're
see
too
that.
busy in your booth. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your booth was.
It was
swamped. Every
also
time I walked
windy.
by,
It
it
was
was
like a-
nonstop.
Yeah, it was cool. I got to
It
go
was
all
nice
out this
to
time.
get that shade underneath that easy up.
I felt real comfortable. I felt at home. No, it was a fun event. And I realized too, like, damn, we got to go harder on, like, we always just throw up a tent and be like, we're here. But we need to go, we have to really put in, you know, it made me realize how much work people are putting in on like curating a vibe. And you knowing what this brand's about before I even start to talk about the weed, because I'm walking up and I'm going, okay, this is a really, okay, I get this. And then the packaging's cohesive. And then sure enough, the flower is cohesive with what I'm, or the strains are.
The brands are starting to see the ROI because it's there.
That's
The
number
bigger
one.
their booth, the more they tell their story, right? The better connection they are, and better partnerships they're creating with the retailer. And it's also vetting out that retailer because there might be 100 different stores that come by, but you might only want to be in 10 of them because the 10 actually fit. They actually have the demographic. They actually pay. They actually want to produce, market your brand to their consumers, right?
Or some people are just picky, dude. I've talked to some brands who literally go, I only want to deal with 1 or 2 shops in each city. Doesn't matter who, like, I'll build that relationship and I'm just not open to others. And you go, okay, so they're on their own program, but it still works because there were so many people coming up to our booth going like, yo, I finally get to meet you, or I've wanted to do this, or yo, when are you going to get your flower back in stores? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of attention of like, oh, this is the right crowd to be in front of.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
Every time I walked by your booth, I couldn't even talk to you.
No, it was blast. Yeah.
It was nonstop.
It's fun. That's why I like doing them when they're good events like that.
The only
Because
time
it
your
pays
booth
off.
was empty was when you were on stage.
Yeah, that's why I have to be there too. Because people, like, a couple times, you know, some people at some events, they just don't show up, right? Their people are at the event,
Yeah.
and it's just not the same. Because every time I'm there, I'm like you have to. I'm like a battery. I like charge up, you know, when I'm there and feeding off of people and talking. I love it, but I love the right events, right? Because
Yeah.
like that event doesn't drain me. I leave there charged up. Other events, and I'm not gonna name. I go and I'm drained at the end of it.
It's like hanging
just
out with
not the
homies
same.
over here.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with the homies, you're seeing familiar faces, and it's a bunch of your peers. Even if they're not familiar faces, they're familiar face to a familiar face.
Yeah.
Right?
People you've wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And the guard comes down and you just start to see everybody just be more authentic. They're like, hey man, this is the price I really needed at. This is how they start talking the business and really putting their guards down and
Really making deals.
making the deals and
Yeah.
You
creating
could
those
see it.
relationships. And
I was next to Bosky and I asked him every day, like, was it a good day? And he was like, bro. And like the last day, I was like, it was good payoff for you? Because we were doing first smoke stuff more than anything. And he was like, phenomenal. And that's what made me go, fuck yeah, then let's go. Like, I always just tap in, you know, how'd you do? What, you guys do well? Even after our events, like stuff, I always want to know, like, you did well. And as long as I can get a good, like, yeah, bro, we're good.
We're never going to tell you that you did bad. So we're always going to say, yeah, bro, we did good.
That is probably them too. That is right. It's a full circle. You're right.
I'm gonna be like, it was a little hot, little line, because like as I'm always going through our show, my show, all of them.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm always like, fuck, we did this, we could do this better. Like consistently.
You should be.
Because that's what makes us all better, is because you know they'd always tell me, they're like, Mikey, nobody knows the stuff in your head that you didn't execute. And then that's when I was able to like calm down a little bit, like, all right, that makes sense. Because to everybody, this is great. To me, it was missing the writing on the sky, the fireworks that were fucking, you know, $15,000 that Wayne wouldn't let me get. You know, like there's stuff that like I always want that Uncle Wayne doesn't let me get.
fire dancers.
No, not even fire dancers. You know when you go to
salsa
Universal
dancers. He had salsa.
I got that last time. When you go to Universal Studios and you the horror nights, and you walk through and they have that flame of fire that you walk through, and then the fucking clowns come out.
That's
something
crazy.
like that, but like salsa.
Jesus.
dancers. You know what I mean? Instead of like
For a weed competition.
This guy's like, you heard of the Olympics when they light the thing on fire that starts the Olympics off? You're like, yeah. He's like, yeah, just like that.
We're gonna
Biggie.
launch a joint up there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I got a friend.
Giant joint.
That's actually a good idea, bro.
I got a friend of mine that like she lost her lighter. So I was in my head, I was like, cool, I'm going to order her 800 Bic lighters and get them sent to her house. And she was like, absolutely not. So that's like the level of extreme that she lost one lighter. I'm going to ship 800 to her house. Like, you know what I mean? I'm very gas. Dad's a lot of the breaks. Shay's in the middle, and I am all gas.
I love it.
I am all gas. And then I'm learning how to be a lot more organized, how to use a computer, how to check an email.
Use a computer.
You know?
It's about balance.
Check an email is like crucial. There's stuff in emails that happens that bro, there's these guys that don't check email ever, okay? Like,
I can. You're
He
actually
found money in there, is what he's telling me. He told me
He made some money
I had
in there.
money in there, and if I didn't,
No,
answer
but you're
the
so
email,
right,
it was
bro.
for the bank. All you have to do is push
Just
yes.
click yes.
But you're
And I was
also
like,
tapping.
oh, shit.
So many of us, like, we do
had to
not
tell
check
him,
emails
push the button,
at
Mikey.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. We don't check emails. We guys, it's like, nah, we don't. Every guy I know, if I asked him, like, bro, you check your emails every day?
But
They'd
you
be
check
like,
your text
What are you
message.
talking about?
Check
Yeah.
my text messages for sure.
And you have a phone.
And Instagram DMs.
Yeah, same thing. You could check your email. You just have it through your phone.
It's funny like that. Life's
I
interesting.
just use it like it's just another platform of text messaging.
But you said, let me ask you though, with this event, April,
29th and 30th.
29th and 30th.
you said competition or what's going to be happening?
No
It's going to be, okay. And so with brands wanting to have a booth there, is it still open?
No, it's actually for
not
the
for brands.
brands to come and walk the floor.
Yeah.
And so,
they'll
if
pre-register.
companies are interested in getting involved, then so ancillary, right?
Yeah. Ancillary,
Is it open
actually
yet?
raw
Or is it already-
materials.
are there any openings still or no?
Oh, yeah, they're still
There
open.
are still a
Yeah.
few open. Okay.
We
And
just
then-
started booth sales maybe 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Because I know with network and shit, the shit closed out crazy quick.
Yeah, network show sells out in like,
Yeah, bro. And it's a huge
It's-
event. So like people don't realize like, oh yeah, you're out, bro. They're like,
it's
what?
like we're pretty much sold out for next year already. Because
See what I'm saying?
pretty much everyone that did
This
it
is why
this
I'm
year
asking
didn't-
this.
is like renewing for next year and trying to go bigger too.
So with this one, how can they get a hold of you? Because I know this is going to air and people are going to be like, yeah, well, to now tell me so I can get it done. Because like, I'm sure, I was raw. I'm sure so many brands actually want to be participate in this that are ancillary and capture market, the real
Yeah.
market in
You
California.
can just email me at NAM at wearethegoodfellas.com. And then you can just go to our website, right? Highsupplyshow.co or .com,
There we go.
right?
Yeah, make sure, because if you want a booth, like definitely tap in and figure it out, because all the events I've participated in have sold out very quickly to where they just are closed out. And it's like, and then the people from last year end up doing it again. So it's like there's 20% that's available. That kind of switches hands. So
And it sucks for us because like, unlike other trade shows where they're like in a convention, a normal convention hall where, I sell out of that hall and just maybe expand into the next hall, we're limited on space. So once we sell out, we're done. And then it just goes to a waiting list if someone bails because something happens and then someone gets plugged in. But
Yeah.
we've been blessed. God has definitely blessed us with the
Amen.
amazing industry and that supports us, and the show sells out every time.
you're right. And it'll be cool to see. What do you guys got going on, planning up until the end of the year? Goodfellas, what are you guys working on right now? What's your main focus, Shay?
Well, we got a couple behind the scenes things with some other events coming up too. We might be bringing back some old stuff. We can't talk on it yet, but
Okay.
like we're all cultural guys. So anything that we're gonna do and say we're gonna do, we're gonna put our stamp on it. So I'm just kind of excited for that because there's gonna be a lot of building in that one, and it's gonna bring back a lot of like where I started my journey and my legacy. And in the
lot of us
industry,
started
Yeah, that's
there.
enough
lot-
hints.
yeah.
That's a lot of hints.
yeah, a lot. Well,
Is it really?
think
Not really.
I'm excited.
That's a
Not
lot of
really.
hints.
but long story short,
AOG would know.
yeah, it's that's exciting. That's kind of exciting. It's kind of gonna like give me a little breath of fresh air. But we run the distro hard. We have our products. We do a lot of things there, and then both of the shows this year are gonna be awesome. Network and High Supply. So just excited for that.
If someone wants to come tour the distro, come
Yeah.
talk to you guys, and they're a California brand, I'm talking what extracts, flour, everything,
Everything.
right? Edibles.
Yeah.
How do they get in tune with you guys?
You come say what up to Shay at Goodfellas. You ask for Shay or Jay or
Yeah.
JC or the boys in there. No, you can come see me.
You got an
I'm in the
email or you
distro
got
Monday
a-
through Friday. Shay at networkshow.co. Shay at wearethegoodfellas.com.
And they're based out of Orange County.
Orange County, Santa Ana, right down there on Harbor. Come see us. We're right over by the observatory. A
Yeah,
lot of
go
people know
check
where
out
that
what we've
is.
been talking about. So you guys know it's not no
Yeah.
infomercial. It's actually, I was there. We talked about it. I walked through their place. It's clean. Like it's something you guys need to actually walk your distros. Man, it's so important. And I realized that this last year, and just 10% of them.
Yeah, we also own a
10%.
a marketing firm that does all our like digital graphics, our marketing called Good Eye. So like there's a lot of ancillary businesses to us where we connect all the dots.
All in
So,
one building.
All in one.
Yeah. So it's
And
like
they
a
got a
one stop.
teriyaki place. too.
Yeah, if you want lunch, I got a chicken bowl spot right there. I call that our cafeteria.
And you guys know
Shout out
everyone in
Orange
the
Grill.
industry. So if someone wants to do something, I'm sure you guys have connected a lot of dots for people
Yeah.
that you work with.
Even if that dot didn't land with us, we'll still connect the dot.
Yeah.
No
I figured.
gatekeeping.
Yeah,
I
for
want to
sure.
see everyone succeed because it's competition. There will be some casualties, some brands that don't make it, but the best of the best will, and we'll have a strong industry with them. And yeah, it's just great. I want to see everybody win. I want to see some friendly competition and brands do better every day. Push to be more consistent, to provide better marketing, to tell your story better, to provide better sales support.
Nothing but fire?
Take care of your supply chain too. Know they're humans. Like it starts with the farmer.
Yeah.
And that's one sad thing that we see at the distro is sometimes we keep squeezing the farmer. And one day we won't have a small farmer anymore. And that sucks. That breeder that's up in Humboldt, we might lose his genetics. Right. And that's the sad day. And we want the legacy guys here. They have a seat at the table. Not hating on the big new guy either. They deserve a seat at the table too. But let's not lose the legacy guy.
It all starts from flower, and our demands are so high of what we want out of our flower and our product these days compared to, 15, 20 years ago, that like, yeah, why wouldn't that person, if you're asking this much from that cultivator of what you want as a consumer, right? Top quality, fragrance, flavor transfer, burnability, combustion, stain, mouth coat. You start to go through this checklist and you're like, yeah, that guy should get his fair share. He's literally having to do 75% of the brunt work to get that product. And then it's like extractors always will say like, shout out to the cultivators. Cause like,
Yeah, good in, good out.
so much of it is. And it's the same thing
Starting
with
material.
marketing. When you're a marketing team and you have a brand that actually puts fire out, how great. And no matter what product line you're in, it doesn't even have to be cannabis. You're like, thank God, because you're able to feel like, yeah, I could stand behind this and feel free to actually, do some cool stuff. You're so right with that. And the backbone of it is cultivators.
Yeah.
It's cool. You guys
The
really
cultivators,
showcase
the
that.
manufacturers, we want to make sure those guys are taken care of.
Yeah.
This industry sucks right now, but we all deserve a seat at the table. Not everyone's going to make it, but let's make sure we all have a spot before some other people dictate how we do things, right? We all know how that is. We don't want none of that. I come from action sports. Is do it yourself, right? Control our own destiny, right? If you look over there, they have their own trade shows, right? It's them, controlled by them. Brands are owned by them, right? From the writers themselves. And here we need to do the same. Like the cultivators, they need to, especially the specialty cultivators, they definitely need to be highlighted way better within stores. Stores need to carry that stuff.
Yeah, I agree, man. I wish we could, everyone wants world peace, right?
Yeah.
But it would be cool to be able to get the owners of the stores more embedded with the culture and more embedded with like what's going on in the market and what needs to be. And that it's more of a liquor store model. It's not double to triple on everything. It's actually, think of a liquor store model. You get 10 or 20% on these you get 100, these ones and it's it averages out. Like I just think it's tough, man, because everyone sees it from their perspective, right? Cultivators are like, no, it's us, and retail's like, you wouldn't be able to sell it without us. And so
they
it's
haven't
an
broken
interesting
bread
market.
together. They haven't seen eye to eye. They just see
Exactly.
paperwork, a product being delivered, an invoice.
Numbers on a page.
They have not broken bread, because I tell you this, if the brand came to say High Supply and found 3 cultivators that hit the quality and the price point, who do you think he's going to go with? The guy that he gels with. So he's going to stop by each booth like, oh, you're cool. You're all right.
You're
kind
right.
of a dickhead over here. I don't want to deal with you, He's going to gravitate to the guy that he has the same core personal values with, and they can gel, and obviously have to hit the other parameters too. Good weed at the right price. Is it consistent? How do you do it? This and this and that, right? But yeah, man, people connecting. They haven't broken bread. That's why it's all.
That's such a great point, man. And if you guys relate to anything and you guys want to link up with these guys, they gave you their socials. We'll also put them in the descriptions below. But man, first smoke of the day, you saw them on for Network Show, and now we're talking about High Supply. You already know Network Show's coming up. So if you're interested in that, that's another reason to reach out to these guys. And then Nothing But Fire. I don't know if it's going on again, but like this is constant events now that these guys are throwing in LA and in SoCal that I would say you have to be a part of if you're a California specific brand for sure, man. It's even if you just come to attend it, you should definitely be in the building connecting with everyone, because what you're going to get out of it, we talked about ROI. If you don't know what that means, look it up. I promise you, man. I'm serious, because it is everything in this business. And it doesn't have to be tit for tat. You can just show up at events, and that ROI, trust me, it's worth it, man. We all know that. We've been to so many events where we left there and told ourselves like, damn, so glad I went to that. And then relationships got built out of that, or things spawned even years later, or you just never know. The ripple effect is endless. So Network Show, High Supply, Nothing But Fire, you got the three of them on together, and it's going to be fun. We'll be there. So if you want to connect with First Smoke of the Day, if you want to hop on the pod, reach out to me, reach out to these guys. Let's lock it up. We're only going to have a few, obviously, because I want to be at the booth. I want to connect. I want to do other shit. We're going to be there. So definitely reach out, man. High Supply, First Smoke. That's another pod. We out. We're almost at 200. Peace.
First Smoke family, if you want more video, unreleased content, stuff we can't put on YouTube, you want early drops, weeks and weeks in advance, FSOTD.com gets you all that. You become part of the family, you get hooked up with early content, you get unreleased content we can't put out on YouTube because we get age restricted and we get strikes, the whole deal. FSOTD.com gets you hooked up like family. But if you just want to keep watching, here we go. Let's let another one roll.